What is the role of the mutual fund portfolio manager? You need to think like a PM if you ever want to be a PM. So let's look at what they do. So here's a snapshot of a portfolio I managed back in 2008 when I was managing my company. Uh, I managed a hedge fund. So we looked at this in great detail in the hedge fund section. I'm going to talk about the differences here. So I only used Excel. You can now get every bit of information you want from Yahoo Finance. Okay, it's amazing. I used to pay thousands of dollars a month for myself and my team to use Bloomberg. Then I stopped doing that because I realized that everything is free. It's awesome, right? Google Finance is decent as well. And I hate theory, so I'm going to teach you just practical stuff, how it's really done. Okay, so we're going to get rid of the sections that don't matter to us, right? So let me go back a second here. So the shorts are here. We don't care about shorts because we're running a mutual fund. And then net exposure, we don't have negative net exposure ever in any sector because we're always long. Okay, so let's get rid of that stuff. Okay, and let's double click and learn about this. Okay, so that's section one. Then we'll look at section two, then three, then four. And so let's kick it off with the first section here. So this portfolio, which again is long only, okay, because it's a mutual fund, there's no shorts. You can see that they lost money in the longs that day, right? Because it was this was 2008, the market was kind of rough, and look how the Nasdaq and Standard & Poor's did that day. And then you've got sector performance. Then you just got exposure here. But more importantly, what I'm going to show you is you see how I've got tech exposure and cyclicals. Yeah, I'm trying to diversify as much as I can, and so this cyclical is different from the rest because this is gold, right? And gold is kind of a flight to quality or a scary tactic, long idea. Then we've got agriculture names here, and I put them in a different color, right? It's different sector exposure. And then cyclicals, I kind of group these together because they're kind of all focused on commodities. So natty gas, you can see down here. And then in technology, I color coded these as well. So on the consumer side, I have two names. There's Apple and Activision. And then I'm kind of naked long a semiconductor name here. And I don't have another semi to offset that, but maybe I should. Maybe I should buy Intel. Who knows? Okay. So this is the initial position size and then the current size. And it just helps you to size your positioning. And usually you don't want to have a position that's much more than 5%. So I got to be careful right here. See? Okay, cool. All right, that's section one. That's risk. Let's move on to the next section here. Again, you're only going to monitor your year-to-date performance for your longs. That's all you care about. And here I have RSI. And remember I said technicals don't really matter or aren't as applicable in mutual funds? Well, the reason I included this is sometimes traders like to warn the portfolio manager when an idea is getting too frothy or too overbought in the near term. See the technical section in the hedge fund section if you're curious about this. So I just created red flags here. So in this case, this company, which is about a 5% position, it's a 7.4% beta position because that company has a beta of close to 1.5 times, which means it's 1.5 times more volatile than the market itself. So just be careful with high beta positions, okay? Because they don't act like 1-to-1 investment sizes. They act like 1.5 to 1 or 2 to 1, depending on the beta, if it's 1.5 or 2. Okay, so when the RSIs are high, your trader might tell you, hey, watch out here, maybe take some profits. And I always like to analyze a couple of different variables, regardless of what sector I'm covering. Oil is important. It has an impact on every sector. Same thing with gold, and to a lesser extent, natural gas. Okay, let's look at section 3. This is quite simply just my performance year to date on a lot of my names. 2008 was a tough year, so a lot of ideas lost money. And then lastly, all portfolio managers love to analyze alpha. And alpha basically means how you're doing relative to the S&P 500. So you take your performance minus the index, and it can be in the index, the one you're closest to. Usually in the US, it's the S&P, but there's others. And so the alpha of my portfolio here was a positive 7.62%. And just here's some other red flags I need to work on. I need to complete my write-ups on these companies. I'm a little bit long commodities, which is kind of an issue. And then I also have to keep following up by updating my models and speaking with companies, etc.